Hey bitches, it's Merrick, and today on the menu is Tim Hortons. If you've never heard of Tim Hortons before, it's kind of like a fast food joint here in Canada. They started off with selling donuts and coffee, and then eventually they branched out to sandwiches, soups, and salad. And today I have a full-on meal and combo to mukbang for you guys. So I'm just going to show you what I have. On the left side, we got two donuts. This is a Boston cream. If you're not sure what a Boston cream is, it's basically a chocolate donut with like chocolate glazing on the top and then a custard filling on the inside. This is a churro donut. I think they called it churro cruller. So inside it has a caramel filling and then it's just like deep fried. And then this is a white hot chocolate. I'll explain what roll up the rim is. It's really hard to pronounce for me. And then these are some potato wedges. And the main star of the entire meal and combo is going to be this sandwich right here. This is a crispy, spicy chicken sandwich. I'll give you guys a little peek of it. There we go. So in the middle is the deep fried chicken. We got some lettuce. The spicy sauce is on the inside. Let me try to show you guys maybe. You can kind of see on the top that it's red. And then I said no tomatoes because I don't like tomatoes. So without further ado, let's start eating. So excited to eat this. It's I don't want to say it's like moist, but it's not dry. It's like kind of in between. Not gonna lie, not the best I've ever had, but like, what do you expect? This is like fast food. I actually put the sandwich and the potato wedges in my oven to like kind of make it more crispy before I eat it. All this, it came out to a total of $10 Canadian, which equates to, I would say $8 US, $7.50 US. So like a pretty good deal. I really like it. Tim Hortons used to be a Canadian franchise. Like it was only available in Canada. That's what made us unique, I guess. And then over the years, they started expanding their operations internationally. Like I know in the States, some places have Tim Hortons. I don't think Tim Hortons restaurants, like an actual physical store. I think they just serve Tim Hortons coffee at like a gas station or something. Same with the UK, I heard, and Ireland. So it's definitely been branching out. This is really good. Oh my god. I would give this a solid 7 out of 10, I would say. I would say 7 out of 10. And when we're talking about donuts, maybe I'm a little bit biased here because I am Canadian, but I think Tim Hortons donuts are so much better than Dunkin' Donuts and Krispy Kreme, like light years away. If you've never tried a Tim Hortons donut, you need to buy a ticket to Canada and go to Tim Hortons because it is life-changing. That being said, I do think Tim Hortons donuts are low quality compared to local bakeries I go to, so it's all relatively, right? Today, I want to talk about, I'm not sure if situation is the right word, but I guess it's like a story time. It's a kind of story time, but not really because it's not that exciting. You guys know that in my mukbangs, I just kind of like talk about my life, what has been happening in my life. I kind of ask you guys for advice. So I kind of want to continue that with this situation. It happened 3 months ago, and I'll tell you guys all the details about what happened. Because in the comments, I always read that you guys actually enjoy me talking about like my life, story time videos and stuff. So here's another one for you guys. Let me try some wedges. Nice and crispy. A little bit plain for my taste. I brought some barbecue sauce and some sriracha mayo. This is sriracha mayo in a bottle, and I was telling my dad, I was like, you can just make this at home. You can buy mayo and buy sriracha. But he said this bottle was only for $1 at our grocery store. It was on sale, so like, why not, right? So I'm excited to try this. Ugh. It's not even opened yet. Oh gosh, maybe I need scissors to like open this. This is a bad idea to do it on camera. I should have done this beforehand. I should have planned this better. Oh, yes, I have a knife. I'm just gonna stab this. Oh god. Yes, it worked. Ugh, peeling it. Look at this like manual labor right here. Okay, got that out of the way. But I wanted to do it real time for you guys because, like, I don't know. I thought it was, like, more real and stuff. Like, hashtag relatable. Struggles of opening up a sauce container. So, gonna try this out on the plate. Sriracha mayo. And then we're gonna compare this with the barbecue sauce to see which one is more delicious. Look at like the two colors. They're so cute. I'm trying to like set all my utensils and plates gently on my table because like my mic is literally right behind this platform, so I don't want like clanging noises when you guys watch my mukbang. So I'm just like very careful about like how much pressure I use when I put down a plate. Okay, let's go for the sriracha mayo. That's not bad. I would say making it at home is better with mayo and sriracha, not buying this like bottled version. And let's try the barbecue sauce. Barbecue wins. No doubt about it. Barbecue wins by far. Barbecue is like one of my favorite flavors. Going on a little tangent, when I'm filming this on a Thursday, and yesterday was like Wednesday, and me and my mom we went for like Wednesday wings because like at a lot of places on Wednesdays they have like 20-cent wings or 30-cent wings. And whenever I dine with my mom, she always, since I was a little boy, gets BBQ flavored wings. That's like her favorite flavor. I think that kind of like passed on to me as her son. Okay, let's talk about the situation. Ooh, before I get to the situation, I just want to try the white hot chocolate. It's very sweet. I like very sweet foods. I know some people dislike very sweet foods, especially if you come from Asia, because Asian desserts and sweets. I try to combine the words sweets and dessert in the same word. Anyhow, Asian desserts and Asian sweets are a lot less sweet compared to North American donuts, ice cream, cupcakes. Getting to the situation now. Obviously I'll be using fake names in this story time because I don't want the people I know to be exposed on the internet. 3 months ago, I'm going to give these people the names. Okay, so ketchup. Let's just say ketchup. So I was at work and suddenly one of our employees like couldn't come to work, right? And we have like a temporary staff list that we call in case like, oh, like Jordan couldn't make it to work. So we're going to call for Cindy instead. Anyhow, I was the coordinator at the time. So say Jordan phoned in and he was like, oh, I can't make it to work. I'm sick. I called ketchup. So I called ketchup, and then she said she could come. I was very hesitant. I was like, should I use she or he? Should I lie or not lie about their gender? So she said she could come. Great. This was my first time working with Ketchup. Like, I did not know her beforehand. We have never trained together. So we spent the entire shift working together. And, like, you know that when you work with someone, you kind of get to know them a little bit personally, right? So, like, you're not going to be talking about work 24/7 when you're working with someone. You're going to be like, oh, how was your weekend? What did you do this weekend? What are you doing after work? And you're like, oh, you're going to a movie? What movie? Oh my gosh, I like that movie too. So you kind of get to know someone personally. And that is what happened with me and Ketchup. Sorry, I really need to like wipe my nose for a second. Have a little cold, I think. I'm not sure. Anyhow, this shift went really well with Ketchup. Like, I felt like we had similar interests and commonalities. And as you guys know, I don't have a lot of friends in life, and I need all the friends I can get. So I want to make an effort to be Ketchup's friend because I knew I would never see Ketchup again when Jordan came back to work the next day. So I asked Ketchup, I was like, oh, hey, what's your number? Like, you should text me. We should like go grab a bite or something, right? She does. She gives me her number. We talk a little bit on text. So I'm like kind of pursuing this friendship. Like I don't want to come off too intensely and like text her every day, but like I would text her like a couple of times a week just to like check in, and she wouldn't think anything about it, right? It's just like normal texting someone. From my point of view, that's me trying to put an effort into a friendship to like kind of get to know someone because I want to make friends. It's hard to make friends as an adult. So I finally decide to ask Ketchup to like meet up with me again to like hang out. We decide to go for sushi. I just realized I never did a close-up of the potato wedges. These are how the potato wedges look like. Oops. So I didn't want it to be too awkward because like what happens if me and Ketchup actually don't have that much in common? Because like at work you find out some people's interests but you don't know them fully. Like someone at work is very different from someone not at work. So I was like, I'm gonna play this safe and I'll bring two of my friends and I'll ask Ketchup to bring two of her friends. So it's not like one on one. It's like, oh my gosh, I gotta keep talking to you. It's like, oh, we can like thrive off each other as a group of six. So let's just say the two friends I brought, one, I'm just gonna make up fake names here. One of them is named Charles and the other one is named Joanna. So I brought Charles and Joanna with me, and then Ketchup brought mustard and relish. So it's me, Joanna, and Charles with ketchup, mustard, and relish. So we agreed to go for sushi. And Charles and Joanna, they're always down to meet new people. They're very chill. They really don't care. So it was me, Charles, and Joanna. We went for coffee beforehand before we went to the Japanese restaurant. So we were the first to get there, us three of us, and then Ketchup was the first one to show up, and she comes, and I introduce her to like Charles and Joanna, and straight off the bat, she seemed like kind of reserved. It's like kind of hard to describe. Basically, like I was trying to make an effort to like get to know catch up more. I was like, oh, how was the past month? Like, what were you up to? What do you do for work now since you don't work with me anymore? That kind of stuff. And like Joanna and Charles, they're very, very friendly. They weren't like predatory. It wasn't like a 3-on-1 situation at all. It was like very relaxed, I would say. Yet she was still like kind of hold back. I'm not sure if she was like intimidated or like scared. By the way, I'm not sure like if there's a point to the story. I'm just literally telling you what happened in my life. I'm not sure if there's like a lesson you can learn from this or not. Still got half. So, eventually Relish and Mustard also show up, and it's the six of us, and like, conversation's okay. Like, Joanna and Charles, they're like really engaging, and like, Mustard and Relish are also really engaging, but I felt this vibe that Mustard, Relish, and Ketchup did not really know each other beforehand. It was weird, because like, usually when me and like Charles hangs out with someone, say it was like, person A and person B. I don't know. So it's me and Charles, and then person A and person B. Person A would kind of like play off person B, and I would play off Charles in conversation, like kind of make fun of Charles, and like the other person would make fun of the other person. It's just like kind of more dynamic that way. But how the night progressed was like, it seemed like Relish would like not play off Mustard. Mustard would not play off Ketchup. It was like very. It's like people were in their own lane. People were in their own vertical. One more bite. So here is one point in the night I clearly remember. Somehow our group conversation got dissected into 3 separate conversations. So it was like Relish and Joanna, Charles and Mustard, and I was talking to Ketchup. And let's not forget that it was me and Ketchup who like planned this entire date. Like if it wasn't for me and Ketchup, like Charles and Joanna, Mustard and Relish would like, kind of not know each other. Like I'm not trying to be bitter or anything. This is just a fact. So it's like literally me, like it's me and Ketchup talking, and we're having 3 separate conversations. And I ask her so many questions, right? I'm like, oh, like, how's your family doing? Do you have sisters? What kind of TV shows do you watch? I keep asking her all these questions, and she doesn't really talk to me back. Like she would give me one-word answers and just like cut things off very really briefly. It just wasn't like a good flowing conversation. And this entire time I'm thinking, okay, maybe like I saw this person in the wrong light. Because remember at work, I was like, oh my gosh, I think I have a lot in common with this person. I want to get to know them more. And then when she's like kind of like giving me one-word answers at this point, I'm thinking, okay, obviously she's not who I thought she was. And like I'm a person who like works really hard. Like I work hard at school, I work hard at work, I just work hard at life. And that's not an exception when I try to befriend someone. So I'm working really, really hard to get to know ketchup. I'm like, okay, do you like Tim Hortons? What's your favorite donut, Tim Hortons? Like that kind of stuff. Like getting more specific because I don't know what else to talk about. It gets to a point where you just gotta cut your losses. Like seriously, I cut my losses and I was like, I give up. Like after 20 minutes of her just like kind of shutting me down, I'm like, I don't know if you're having a bad day, if you're not feeling me anymore, but I tried and I'm not gonna try anymore because it's not getting anywhere. And this is what I did. I forgot one key point of the story. So there's like the three conversations going on, and my conversation with Ketchup was like not going anywhere. It was so bad. I look over my shoulder and I see Joanna and Charles bonding and having such a good time with relish and mustard. They're like laughing in the conversation. They're so into it. They're so engaged. Like me and Ketchup, we were just like, and they're like, haha, oh my god, your mom works here, my dad works here, oh, we should do like a family barbecue sometime. Like that kind of atmosphere. And I was just like, at that point, I'm not gonna lie, I was like pretty jealous. I was like, why is your conversation going so well and mine is going so bad? Let's not forget that like it was my idea and Ketchup's idea to like bring you guys together, and you guys are having the time of your life, whereas we are miserable as, I don't want to swear on camera because I know I have younger viewers, but we were miserable AF. So it just really annoyed me. This is what I did. This is the last part of the chicken sandwich, by the way, the last piece. Okay, I'm gonna clean up a little bit. I got some potato wedges left, but I'm pretty full, so we're just gonna move that aside. This is just for decoration. There's nothing in here. It was the donuts, but I put them on a plate. Maybe, I'll put it down. Let's have some donuts and white hot chocolate now, you guys. Before I start eating the donuts, I just want to tell you guys what I did because you guys have been waiting for like 2 minutes to find out. I seriously just couldn't stand talking to Ketchup anymore, and obviously I can't just like stop talking to her and like force my way into the two other conversations. So I was very, very strategic. I'm a manipulative, I can't pronounce it. I am a manipulative person. So knowing me, I needed a good excuse to leave the table. So I was just like, oh my gosh. I didn't say oh my gosh, but I was like, oh, I need to use the restroom. So I went to the restroom. Obviously, I did not need to use the restroom. I just needed an excuse to get away from the table because I knew that as soon as I left the table, Ketchup would be forced to join the other two conversations because like obviously Joanna and Charles isn't just going to like watch Ketchup sit there and eat in silence. They're going to try to get her into the conversation. So when she was into the conversation, after I came back from the washroom, I would not be forced to talk to Ketchup one-on-one anymore. Does that make sense at all? Basically, I did not want to talk to Ketchup. I used the washroom as an excuse to get away from the table. I knew Charles and Joanna would force or would integrate Ketchup into their conversations. And when I returned, I can go back into the main conversation. And that's exactly what happened. The three conversations turned back into one, and I stopped talking to Ketchup, finally. Oh, thank God. Again, sorry if I'm a very bad storytime teller. I feel like I stutter a lot when I do storytime videos because, like, I don't know, I'm just not good at, like, articulating myself. But I honestly hope you guys get the gist of it. Let's return to the food. So, I'm going to be eating half of these donuts just because I'm pretty full right now. So this is how a Boston cream looks like for people who have never had one. So we got the chocolate glaze on the top, and the inside is custard. It's like a filling. I'm trying to make it reflect against the light. And nothing else really that exciting happened throughout the night that's worth mentioning. We ate one thing. The conversation was just all okay. It wasn't mind-blowing, but it wasn't like really bad. When we were leaving the restaurant, Charles was like, "Oh my gosh, we should like get together. We should get together as a group of six again. We should all hang out and like maybe we can like do Secret Santa for Christmas." I don't know what he said exactly, but Charles was just wanting to initiate another hangout between us six because he thought it went really well. Being the fake bitch that I am, I was like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, we should totally do it." I had such a good time tonight, you guys. Like, relish, mustard, what's your number? Add it in my phone, ASAP. Facebook me, Snapchat me, get to know me because I really like you. Not. So, ketchup, mustard, and relish, they go one direction. And me, Charles, and Joanna, we go the other direction. This is really good. So sweet. It's like sweet on sweet. I'm having like a sweet pastry and a sweet drink. So I talked to Charles on the walk back to my car. I asked him, "Wow, you must have had like a really good time tonight." And then he says, "Are you effing kidding me? That was torture. See, I'm not the fakest bitch in the world. My friends are more fake than me." Like, even I fell for it. Charles told me how, like, it was not a good time for him. He was, like, forcing the conversation. He was like, "I'm just gonna... Hold on, I can't do it. I need to, like, finish eating this one first." He's like, "I need to put a fake smile on my face and look happy for them." He's like, "Oh, I just don't want to be rude. I want to be polite and pretend I have a good time." I'm like, "Wow, you're like a better person than me," because I was kind of bitch faced to catch up after I gave up. Like before I gave up, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like that's great, ha ha ha." And then afterwards, I was switched, flipped in my mind, and I was just like, "This is pointless." Am I a bad person? I don't know. I just cut my losses. Like there's no point in investing more if you're not gonna get any return. Maybe I'm a bad person. Last thing I want to talk about is this is like kind of a common theme in my life. Charles and Joanna, they pointed out to me that this has happened on multiple occasions, and they said this in a very nice way, like not in a mean way. They're like, "Do you think the problem is you, Merrick?" I'll explain that in a second. I want to lick off the custard. I wasn't like stabbing my mouth. This is a churro. That's how you pronounce it. Churro curler. So I'm not sure if you can see, but like right here, this is the caramel filling on the inside. Taste test. Oh my god, this is so good. This is actually so good. This is like my favorite thing I ate all mukbang long. If you live in Canada, I highly recommend you try the churro curler. It's so soft and creamy. I love the caramel filling. And on the outside, I think it's cinnamon sugar. So amazing. Anyhow, I think it's a common theme with me because like Charles has told me in the past. He's like, I think this is like your problem. And then, like, at first I didn't believe him, but the more times I've encountered this similar situation, I kind of think it's my problem. Like, it's something with me. It's me, not them. This happens to like when I try to make new friends, this always happens to me. Like, it just doesn't end up working. And when I go on dates with boys and stuff, it just like fizzles out. Nothing works for me when it comes to me trying to initiate social interaction with another individual. And me, Joanna, and Charles, we were talking, and we seriously don't know why. Why is this happening to me? Charles was like, maybe you just meet the wrong people. You just pick the wrong apples. But this has happened 10 out of 10 times. Like, I would try to befriend someone 10 times, and all 10 times it was awkward. It didn't work out. It was bad conversation. We had nothing in common. So maybe I am picking the wrong people. I guess it doesn't help that like my interests are very limited. Like, my main interest is YouTube and TV shows. Joanna, she brought up a point. You have to understand that what I do for work and like how I was raised is I hate awkward silences and I fill in a lot of the conversation. I'm a very good conversationalist. I know exactly what to say I know what to say at what time. I know what people want to hear. Psychology says that humans enjoy talking about themselves. So I try to get people to talk about themselves by asking questions and engaging with them. Because if someone likes talking about themselves, they're going to have a favorable view of you as the participant in the conversation. So I ask a lot of questions to get people to open up. But if people don't want to, I can talk about myself. No problem. I'm just a great conversationalist. I'm not going to be modest about this trait. I'm a very good conversationalist. I do this at work all the time. I have to like keep talking to people. I'm like, oh, okay. So like, what kind of, I'm just trying to think something not related to work to like not give away where I work. So what kind of shoes do you like? Oh, you like those kind of shoes? What color? Oh, how long have you been liking the style for? Oh, you like the style for this amount of years? That's great. Like that kind of stuff. That was a very bad example, by the way. Usually I'm way better. Not trying to be, like, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying I'm a very good conversationalist. I can handle any type of person in conversation. No problem. And the thing is, if they're a chatty person, I ask a question and they keep going on, and I'm not even paying attention to them. If you guys know the YouTuber Charles Gross, he talks about this all the time, how he's also a very good conversationalist, and he's just really good at pretending to care about someone in a conversation. I can ask you a question, and then you can talk about your answer to that question, and literally I'll be thinking, what should I be having for dinner today? Or, I wonder, is my mom working late? Something like that. Like, my mind would be a completely different place. And then at the same time, I can still pay attention to your conversation enough for me to pick out certain points for me to continue that conversation based on those points. So say your favorite, wow, I've been holding this piece of churro for so long. This is such a chatty mukbang today. So say I asked you, oh, what are your plans for this weekend? And you tell me, oh, I'm gonna like drive my son to soccer. I'm gonna go get a pedicure. Like, you tell me a bunch of those things, and I'll pick one thing. I'll be like, oh, how old's your son? And then you'll go like 11. I'll be like, oh, like what school does he go to? And you'll tell me all about his school. I'll be like, I wonder. I wonder what other plans do I have tonight. Is like Charles going to hang out with me? Is Joanna going to come over to my house? And then sometimes some people catch me off guard and they're like, what do you think? And I'm like, huh? I don't actually say huh. When people ask me a question, I'm like, I'm not too sure about that. Maybe I'm not the right person to ask. Like that kind of thing. Like, I'm very good at playing conversations or playing questions off that I wasn't paying attention to. So I feel like I've been going on and on about this point, tying this all back into the common theme with me, the problem I have when like making new friends or like dating guys, is that Charles and Joanna, they tell me I come off too intense. They say it feels like an interrogation when someone dines with me for the first time. I was just talking to Charles on the phone last night, and he was like, I've known you for way too long for me to like have a like non-biased assessment of you. But if I was going to pretend that I was someone who has never met you before, I would say you come off a little bit too intense and too interrogative-y. Like, it feels like an interrogation when someone has a conversation with me because I keep firing questions at them. So that is the situation. In my defense, let me talk about my defense for a second. In my defense, I only fire questions at people if they're not engaged in the conversation. What I mean by not engaged is like if I ask a question, like catch up, like give me a one-word answer. Like what else am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to like not ask you another question? Like would you rather me fire questions at you or for us to dine in silence? Because if I don't ask another question, that person isn't going to ask me a question. Sorry, my camera battery died. What I was saying is if I'm not going to ask you another question. I know you're not going to ask me another question because that's the type of person you are. You just give one-word answers and we're just going to dine in silence. Would you rather dine in silence or me trying to like make an actual effort to get to know you? So I honestly don't think that's a problem. Would you rather have silence or me trying to make conversation? Like the whole point of meeting up with someone for lunch is to like have social interaction. You drove all the way here. Think about that gas money, or you bused here. Think about like your bus fare. You did not come here to just eat in silence. You came here to either talk about yourself or talk about me. So I don't see that as a problem, but my friends say it's very interrogative and like very intense. I'm like, it's not my fault because if the other person was more engaged in the conversation, if they actually talked, if they asked me questions, then I would not be forced to keep asking you questions again and again. And also for any haters out there, I do give people the opportunity to like talk about themselves. Like one good example is I might be like, what kind of movies are you into? And they might be like romance. I'll be like, oh my gosh, like I love romance. My favorite movie is A Perfect Man with Hilary Duff. End of sentence. There, that person has so many like avenues they can take. They can be like, oh, like I know of Hilary Duff. Like, isn't she like the blonde one, Lizzie McGuire? Or they can be like, oh my gosh, I hate Hilary Duff. Like her music so like is not for me. They can be like, oh yeah, I've seen that movie before. Do you want to like go catch another? Do you want to see one of her movies together? Like a couple months later. I don't know. I'm writing my words at this point because I am so frustrated. Like my point is I don't always ask questions. It's not always a question mark at the end of like my sentences. Sometimes there are periods and I give people the opportunity to expand on those ideas. So I don't know what to do. I told Charles and Joanna and they are like, yeah, that's really not a problem. They really think it's just like the people I meet who are not like us. This has been such a chatty mukbang. Oh my gosh. It's been so chatty that my camera battery has died. I still haven't explained what roll up the rim is. I'll explain it really quickly because I know this video is very, very long. Let me just put the donuts away. So what Roll Up the Rim is a contest held by Tim Hortons every year. It happens in February. Note this video is not sponsored. I do wish it was sponsored by Tim Hortons. So they give out these special cups. It's kind of like the red cups that Starbucks give out in December. Basically, you take the cap off of your cup and then you roll up the rim and you can win prizes. Sometimes you can win a free donut, a free coffee. These are the top prizes. You can win a $100 gift card. You can win an LG 4K TV. You can win a Honda Civic. I do not know of anybody who has won a car before. I actually don't even know of anybody winning a $100 gift card. Everyone wins donuts and coffees here in Canada that I know of. So let me just roll it up for you guys. The arrow points to right here, so this has the message of whether I won something or not. Let's see. Maybe I got a donut? I can't tell yet. Car! Just kidding. Who actually thought I won a car? I actually did win something though. I'm so surprised. I won a free coffee. Can you guys see that? Oh, no, there we go. Can you see? It might be really blurry, but I won a free coffee. On YouTube, there's like these challenges of people buying 100 cups, just cups, no coffee inside or beverage, and they unroll it. The chances of them winning, on average, the chances of them winning something, whether it be a donut, a coffee, is 14 out of 100 cups. So that comes down to 7 out of 50. So I'm actually surprised I actually won something. This is my very first roll at the rim this year, so I am 1 for 1. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you honestly did enjoy it. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. I know this is a very, very chatty mukbang. Like, I just had to tell someone, and I guess you guys were the people I finally told. If you are new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I do upload every single week, Sunday and Thursdays. If you want something less chatty, I upload ASMR videos on Thursdays, and there's absolutely no talking whatsoever. If you're into chatty videos like these, mukbangs are for you, and if you don't care, then you have 2 videos a week. I'll like all my past mukbangs and ASMRs on the screen right now, and until next time, that was your daily dose of a hot mess. Bye, bitches.